Hello, Apex. How are you today? Good. Well, I'm going to wake you up. Everyone stand up, 10 jumping jacks. No, I'm just kidding. So anyways, we're going to go over the benefits in a little bit more detail with you. And so we'll go over the medical and then some voluntary benefits and then dental, vision, life, and disability. So basically, that's your package. And so Kaiser is your medical insurance company. So they've been with Apex for, probably more than 6 years. I think we've been helping for at least 6 years. So they've been with Apex for a long time. And as Tara said, the benefit increase is not that much. The plan is a phenomenal plan. You've got a $500 deductible, working in the insurance industry. I can tell you 1 out of 1,000 companies, maybe 2 out of 1,000 companies has a $500 deductible. So very rich plan. The individual deductible is $500. The family deductible is $1,500. So once an individual deductible is met, then the plan starts, then you have to pay that 10% coinsurance on top of it until you reach that out-of-pocket maximum of $2,000 for an individual and then $4,000 for a family. When you go to the office, good news here, you have a $20 copay at the office when you see a primary care physician, and then you have a $40 copay when you see a specialist. Again, if you don't go to the office or you seek care for labs or x-rays or anything, outpatient surgeries, anything like that, you meet that deductible first, then you pay 10%, and then 10% up to that $2,000 deductible. I mean, out-of-pocket maximum. So that $2,000 out-of-pocket maximum includes copays, it includes coinsurance, and it includes your deductible. Any questions so far? If you go to the emergency room, then it is a 10% coinsurance after your deductible. If you notice right below that if you go to the urgent care, it's only a $40 copay. So please keep that in mind. We ask that you log on to Kaiser and make sure you understand where their emergency rooms are, where their urgent cares are, because we don't want you searching for it when you're sick. And so the best thing that you can do is spot something close to the office here or work, and then something close to your home. So you'll know how to seek care in an emergency or when you need urgent care. The prescription drug medication, there is a 4-tier prescription drug medication plan. And so the first tier is the lowest copayment, and that typically is generic medications, but sometimes they'll include maintenance medications for if heart problems or anything like that that you're on, so cholesterol medication. So sometimes they'll fall, even if they're not a generic, they'll fall in that first tier. The second tier is a brand name medication, and that tier is a little bit more, but not as expensive as the other tiers, because the insurance company, Kaiser, will get a good discount on those medications, so that's why they're able to charge you less for that medication. The third tier is also brand name medications, but it's when they don't get as deep of a discount. And then the fourth tier is really a specialty medication. I don't know if you remember, like hepatitis C came out with a new medication that was going to kill that virus, and it's all great news, but it may cost $10,000 a month. And so those are the specialty medicines that they really want to track because they're so expensive. And then also, as you can see, you pay 20% up to $250 a month for those medications. More expensive medications, and they are kind of specialized medications. So that's why that's in that tier. Any questions about the medical plan? Okay, and then you can see your rates on the next slide. I think the rates, nope, okay. So we got some resources on Kaiser for you. So show of hands, who's logged into the Kaiser website? Awesome. So about half of you. So that's wonderful news. we recommend that you log in. They have a teledoc program where you can call a doc or video conference with a doc online. So great resources for you available there. In addition, they have where you can view your claims, you can schedule an appointment, get your refills with the pharmacy. So definitely ways to access care through their website. So we highly recommend, for the people that haven't logged on yet, we highly recommend that you do. They have discounts typically with vitamins or other things. So great resources available to you through their website. Okay, and then I'm going to take a short break and hand it to Danny, and he'll go over the voluntary benefits.
Awesome, thanks. Well, good afternoon.
Hello.
I got half of you, that's all right. Quick show of hands. It's been a couple years since I've actually been out here doing these. Quick show of hands, who is here? Who's been here for a couple years? Oh, so most of you have been here. Good job, awesome. All right, so as Carol said, my name is Danny Talley. I'm also with Hub International, and I'm going to go through this voluntary packet that you have in front of you. There's 3 programs in here. You'll see the duck on there, accident and critical illness, and the IDT safeguard, the identity theft. So quick show of hands, just for my sake, who here is currently on one of these programs? Anybody in the room? So about 4, 5, 6 of you. If you're on the AFLAC plans, are you filing your wellness claims? You doing it? You getting it?
Yep.
All right, good. Don't forget, you have wellness claims built in there to great benefit. So for those of you that are on the plan, this will be a great refresher. For those of you that are not, this is your open enrollment period, and this will be the time of year that you can decide if you want to get onto one of these plans. So with that, I'm going to talk pretty quick. I'm going to try to get through all 3 of these in about 20 minutes. And just make sure you totally understand how they work, what the cost is, and if it's something you maybe decide you want to enroll in when you go out to Paylocity and do so, okay? So first one, this is your blue brochure. This is your brand new, or not brand new, but for those of you that aren't on it, this will be your new accident plan. Accident insurance is by far the #1 selling voluntary product nationally, bar none. In my opinion, this particular program that you guys have available here at Apex is kind of a no-brainer. I'll explain why as we go through it, and I think it'll make more sense to you. But a couple things I want to point out. 24-hour coverage on and off the job. Doesn't matter where the accident takes place, you're covered 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. AFLAC does not offset or coordinate with any other coverage that you may already have. So if you're on the medical plan here, you're on your spouse's medical plan, you have an accident, your spouse has an accident, your children have an accident, you have to go to the doctor, the hospital, the urgent care facility. Even if your major medical plan paid 100% of that bill, doesn't matter, you're still going to receive all the benefits due you on this plan paid directly to your home address, tax-free. You use these dollars however you want to use them. Put it in the bank, take a vacation with it, pay all your out-of-pocket medical costs. It's totally up to you on what you do with these dollars. This program is also fully portable. Once you're on it, if you leave Apex Parks and Rec for any reason, you can take it with you. You're locked in at these group rates and coverage for as long as you want the program. Okay, so it does go with you if you want to take it with you. AFLAC also does not have a claim limit or dollar limit. So if you have an accident-prone child or spouse and they're in the ER every single week, doesn't matter. AFLAC will never cut you off because you filed too many claims or because the dollar amount got too high. They will just continue to pay over and over and over. So with that, if you open up the brochure inside the first page, the easiest way really to explain a group accident plan is this. Anything that can happen to you as a result of an accident, there's a dollar amount tied to that specific injury and or treatment. That's how AFLAC knows how much to pay you when you file your claim. I know it sounds odd that an insurance company would put dollar amounts next to certain types of injuries, but that's just the way these programs work, and you'll see as we kind of walk through here real quick. So that's kind of how it works. So let's say you have the plan and all of a sudden you're out, you're snowboarding, you're mountain biking, you're skiing, you slip on the ice, you have a car accident, whatever, and you're admitted into the hospital as a result of that accident. AFLAC's going to send you a check for $1,000 tax-free. You use that money however you want to use it. Okay? The claims turnaround time on average is about 2 business days nationally. So they're pretty quick at paying their claims. As of the first of the year, they're actually going to 1-day pay, which means by the time you submit your claim online to the time the money's back in your bank account is 24 hours. So that's kind of a cool thing that's coming. But that $1,000 again would go to you. You use it however you want to use it. If you're confined into the hospital as a result of the accident, they're going to pay you $300 every single day you're in the hospital. Again, tax-free, right into your bank account. They'll do that for up to 1 full year per accident. Now, we don't see a lot of people in the hospital for a year, but we do see a lot of 1, 2, 3 weeks, depending on the severity. Just know you're going to get a check every single day put into your bank for about $300. If you happen to be in intensive care, it's an additional $250 on top of the $300 per day. Then you're going to see things like family member lodging. If you're on vacation, you have an accident, Aflac will pay airfare and lodging for a family member to come and stay with you, or you stay with them while you're being treated. Then you'll see things like accidental death and dismemberment down at the bottom. That pays on top of any other life insurance that you already have in place. It's just in addition to. If you turn the page, you'll see some kind of gruesome benefits, the dismemberment benefits. No one likes to talk about them, but things unfortunately do happen in accidents sometimes, so you can kind of see how those would be covered. Next page, you'll see things like fractures, and you'll see different things listed there. I always use a broken leg as an example. In the state of Colorado, it's a pretty common claim, a lot of mountain biking, a lot of skiing. If you're inflicted with a broken leg, you're playing softball, slip on the ice, whatever, you're going to get a check for $3,600 tax-free, again, put into your bank account within a couple business days. You use it however you want to use it. Plus, if you're admitted into the hospital as a result of that broken leg, they're going to give you that $1,000. If you're in there for 2 or 3 days recuperating, you're going to get the $300 per day. So my only point is this: all of the benefits pay on top of each other. It's not one or the other. They look at the bill, everything that you were treated for, they tally up all the different benefits in this program and send you that check. Remember, Aflac doesn't care how much the bill was or how much you pay out of your pocket. They're just going to pay you exactly what the policy says. So I'll give you a couple quick examples. I have 7 children, so a lot of kids, 35 down to 18. My 22-year-old plays football at the University of Colorado. 2 years ago in the Oregon game out in Autzen Stadium, broke his shoulder, separated his shoulder, and had a 360-degree labrum tear, all in one hit. It's pretty severe. He was out for about 9 months recuperating, surgeries. That bill was about $180,000 to fix that shoulder. The University of Colorado paid 100% of the bill because he's a scholarship athlete. But we got about $7,000 on this plan just because of the different things he was treated for. No, I did not give him the money. I kept it. It went in my bank account, and I figured I spent enough money on you over the years. This is my payback. Last year in the Cal game, last game of the year, he blew out his left knee, ACL, MCL, had surgery, rehab. We got about $4,000 on this plan. 1 week later, my youngest daughter, who's 18, plays for the Rapids. She plays soccer. She tore her left hip labrum, and we got about $4,000 on that. So in 3 claims, we got about $15,000 on this plan. Now, I get it. Those are pretty extreme injuries. Those aren't just your normal everyday playground injuries, but that's really kind of how the program works. Again, they just look at what you're treated for. It's pretty common. We'll see people in the audience around the country. They'll be going through these brochures and being like, I could have got that. I could have got this for my child or whatever. And that's really how simple these programs are. So as you continue to go through the brochure, you'll see dislocations on the next page. Works the exact same way. You'll see burns, stitches. Down at the bottom, you'll see initial treatment. So you have an accident, your child has an accident, your husband has an accident, your spouse, your wife, whatever. You have to go to the hospital emergency room, the urgent care facility, the doctor's office. There's dollar amounts just for going there and getting seen for that accident that you had. If you have x-rays, they pay you additional monies on top of that. Again, even if your copay was $25 or $30 to go see that doctor, you still get exactly what Aflac says they're going to pay you based on where you went and what they saw you for. Okay? Next page, you'll see ambulance rides, airlifting, diagnostic testing, emergency room observation, blood, plasma, concussion, coma, emergency dental work, eye injuries, inpatient surgery, outpatient surgery. So again, this is not an all-inclusive list, but it's really meant to give you an idea of how the program works. Again, anything to do with an accident, there's dollar amounts tied with all of those treatments or whatever the case may be. If you turn the page, you'll see appliances if you need crutches or walker or brace or whatever. There's dollar amounts for all of those. Accident follow-up treatment, $50 per visit. If you go in for follow-up visits, they'll do that up to 6 times per accident. The therapy, the physical therapy benefit, this is another big one. Not only does it cover you for physical therapy, but it also covers in the state of Colorado chiropractic. So if you're out raking leaves, you're shoveling snow, playing softball, you trip on the ice, whatever, and you tweak your back because of that, then Aflac will give you $50 every time you go see a chiropractor, up to 6 times per incident. You don't have to go to a doctor first and get a referral. You can go right to the chiropractor, tell them, hey, I slipped, I tripped, I fell, I tweaked my back, whatever, and they'll give you $50 every time you go see that chiropractor. So for those of you that are not on the plan, if you decide to enroll, it would take effect January 1st for you and your family, okay? For those of you that are already on it, obviously this is already rolling for you. Now, one of the reasons I say this plan is kind of a no-brainer is because of the last benefit in there, and it's the wellness benefit. Aflac is really big into wellness. And what they simply say is this: if you're on the plan, you, your spouse, your children, whatever the case may be, Aflac will give you and every person in your family that has a wellness exam done a check for $50 every calendar year. So if you went out and had a routine physical, eye exam, flu shot, cholesterol screening, blood glucose screening, mammogram, pap smear, prostate exam, all of those are covered as a wellness visit. Now, Aflac will pay that one time per person per calendar year. So if you went out and had an eye exam, a flu shot, and your cholesterol checked in 1 week, they're not going to give you 50, 50, 50. You're going to get $50 per person per calendar year. Okay? If you have a family of 4, 5, 6, 7, 9 in my family, all of us used to get the wellness benefits back. Okay? So again, kind of a neat thing the way they do that. You can file them all at the same time. You can all do a different wellness visit. It's totally up to you on how you do that. You can wait till the end of the year and file them all at once at Christmas time. And again, it's totally up to you on how you get those done. So that's why when I do these meetings, I always ask, if you're on the plan, are you doing your wellness benefits? Because it's free money that you're going to get back. Remember, under healthcare reform, physicals, mammograms, pap smears, those types of things are covered at 100%. You still get the $50 back on this plan. Again, Aflac doesn't care how much you pay out of your pocket. They're going to pay you exactly what they say they're going to pay. Now, one of the reasons I say that's a no-brainer is because of the rate sheet that's in your packet. You'll notice down here in the bottom right, you'll see the rates. It's $14.45 a month for an employee only to have the 24-hour accident plan with the wellness benefit built into it, okay? Well, you do the math. Take that times 12, that's about $173 a year. You get to pre-tax that premium through your cafeteria plan, just like your medical, your dental premium, so you don't pay any taxes on it. So it saves you roughly another 25% off of that rate. You get your $50 wellness benefit back every year, so really that plan costs you about $6.50 a month. So again, pretty affordable through Apex. Same thing with you and a spouse, or you and the children, or you and the entire family. And again, remember, there is no limit on how many wellness exams they will pay out. If you have a family, again, 3, 4, 5 children, each one is eligible for that. Children on the Aflac plan are up to age 26. They do not have to be a full-time student. They do not have to be living at home. They can be married out on their own, and you can still cover them under this program, and they still are eligible for all of the benefits. Okay?
Isn't there a maximum age for, doesn't it max out at 70 or something for everyone?
No. So you can keep this plan now for as long as you want to. There is no age where they kick you off anymore.
But you can't start after a certain age.
Well, actually, on the new accident plan, you can.
Okay.
Yeah.
They wouldn't matter.
Right, you're right. You couldn't do that, but now you can add them onto it. There are no more age limits. The other really cool thing, for those of you that took this program a few years ago, you'll remember that, and you took it, the wellness benefit, remember you had a 12-month wait on the wellness benefit before you could file a claim. State of Colorado, the insurance department this year took that out, and they said that now that can be immediate. So for those of you new coming on, if you take the plan on January 1, you went out January 1, January 2nd, you could have an eye exam, whatever, and get your wellness exams back. Okay? So last thing is, what's an accident? You can't just wake up one morning and say, you know what, my back's been hurting me, go see the doctor. Doctor says, what happened? And you say, I have no idea, it just hurts. That's not an accident. But if you went to that doctor and said, hey, I slipped, I tripped, I fell, I did this happened, that's an accident. That's all Aflac is looking for, is what caused that condition, okay? So again, just kind of remember that as you're going in. I see maybe some chuckles. Pregnancy is not considered an accident. It may be an accident, and you may be able to tie a specific event to it that caused it, but it's not going to be a payable claim. So just keep that in mind. That's one of those things that a lot of people try to do, and it's just not one of those things that's covered. So again, pretty straightforward program on that, and typically those plans, if you have kids that play sports or if you're active, they will typically pay for themselves many times over just because of those benefits. So any questions?
Have they changed the way the claim process works? It seems like it's a little, like I had to like handwrite a bunch of stuff and like email it to them.
Yep.
Have they changed all that?
They have. And actually, I'll just skip ahead real quick. In your little packet, you're going to see this little pamphlet. And it's basically, you can now go online and do all your claims filing with Aflac. As of the first of the year, sometime in first quarter, they're actually going to have a brand new Duck app out. You can load on your phone and you can just take a picture of the bill or whatever and hit submit, and it goes right to them. But right now, you would log on to aflacgroupinsurance.com. On the back of that page, you're going to see there's basically 4 quick, easy steps. It takes about 4 to 5 minutes to fill that out. And basically all you're doing is uploading the bill that you got from the doctor or the hospital that shows what you were treated for, and then Aflac will typically pay the claim right off of that. The wellness claims are also typically done on the honor system. You don't even actually have to provide proof you had a wellness exam done. You're just clicking a box now online. I had a flu shot, I had an eye exam, I had a mammogram, and those $50 checks will be back out to you. On this site, you can also elect direct deposit. You can fill it out on there electronically, and then they'll just put that money right into your bank account. Yeah?
If your kids are on your Exodus insurance.
Yep.
Can I?
Absolutely, yeah. Totally separate, totally independent. You can mix and match this program, the Aflac programs. You don't have to be on this medical plan. They could be living with your ex-spouse on another medical plan. It doesn't matter. You can still cover them under your program. Yeah.
Is there a length of time you have to file a claim?
Great question. So Aflac likes you to go see a doctor within 96 hours of the accident, but we all know that's not sometimes possible. Number one, you may not be able to get in if it's something minor. They may say, yeah, come see us next week. Or how many times have we all, you know, I hurt that, but I think I'm going to get better. And you go by a few days, the weekend goes by, and now you're a week into it, and you're like, man, that's just not getting any better. Then you go see a doctor. If you ever have any issues, let us know. On the front of this claims flyer, you'll see down at the bottom for escalated claims issues. We have an advocate right at Hub, and we will get those claims paid for you. Again, as long as it's a legitimate claim, and maybe you went a week or two because you thought it was going to get better, you're fine. They just would like you to get treated within 96 hours, because what they're trying to alleviate is people waiting a month, 2 months, and then saying, oh yeah, I hurt myself back then, pay my claim. But that's typically the rule of thumb.
What about filing the claim?
Yeah, so filing the claim, we've had them go back 5 years before. So a lot of times people will forget year to year, and it's like, I forgot I had that. So that's why I always do these memory joggers. You know, if you've had a claim, it's not too late. Again, a lot of times people will do it the next year because they just forgot. So they're really good and generous about going back, as long as, again, you can provide the bill or whatever that shows that you were treated while you were on the policy. Okay? All right, next one. This is the red brochure. This is your group critical illness program. Critical illness has been the fastest growing product in the United States for about the last 10 years in a row. Reason being is most of us have experienced, not you guys, but most of us have experienced our deductibles or out-of-pocket costs going up year after year. The insurance companies, every year they look statistically at what's going on around the country, and what they finally found over a decade ago was that when you're diagnosed with a critical condition, not something that's maybe going to take your life, but something serious, typically you're out of work 2, 3, 4 months recuperating. Heart, stroke, cancer, things like that. That can be financially devastating to a family. We're all supposed to have 8 to 10 months set aside in our bank account for a rainy day, but most of us don't. And when we have a large expense, like a large deductible or something out of pocket, we typically pull out our Visa or MasterCard, we swipe it, and then we spend the next 20 years paying it off. All these programs are really designed to do is be an emergency cash fund when you need it most, okay? Super simple to understand and explain. First couple pages, just an overview. If you turn to the second page, you're gonna see all these different things listed on the left-hand side. There's about 12 items. Cancer, heart attack, stroke, we call the big three. That gets about 92% of us. But then it also goes on more major organ transplant, kidney failure, cardiac arrest, bypass surgery, burns, paralysis, and so on. Apex also added in the optional benefits rider, and the progressive disease rider on the bottom right. So you'll see brain tumor, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, ALS, and MS. So those 5 plus the other 12 are all covered under your critical illness program. So what does that mean? So all of you at open enrollment can choose either a $5,000, $10,000, $15,000, excuse me, all the way up to $50,000 of coverage. Everybody can do something different. Let's just pretend we all did a $10,000 policy to keep this example simple. You have a $10,000 critical illness program. A year goes by, 5 years goes by, 10 years. God forbid you're diagnosed as having cancer. Upon diagnosis of that cancer, Aflac's going to send you a check for $10,000. You use that money however you want to use it. Put it in the bank, take a vacation, pay your out-of-pocket medical costs, house payment, car payment, totally up to you. Again, that's really what it's designed to be, as an emergency cash fund. They're basically saying, hey, worry about getting better and not worry about how you're going to keep the household running over these next 2 or 3 months while you're off work, your spouse is off work, or whatever the case may be. The really cool thing about Aflac, and they're the only carrier that does this, is they do not have a limit on how many times they will pay that benefit out. They pay for reoccurrences and additional occurrences. So what I mean by that, you had the $10,000 policy, you had cancer, you got the money. You go through radiation, chemotherapy, you're now in remission and you're doing great. A year, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years later, that exact same cancer comes back, they're going to pay your benefit out all over again. And there's no limit on how many times they will pay that benefit out in your lifetime. Same thing with additional occurrences. You had the money, you had cancer, you got the money, down the road you had a heart attack or stroke or something different, they're going to pay it out all over again. So just kind of keep that in mind. It's a multiple payout program. It's not a one and done program. Okay? Children on this one, again, up to age 26, they're covered free of charge. Whatever you, the employee, do, all of your children will automatically get 50% of that amount. So if you do 10, they all get 5. If you do 20, they all get 10. Okay? This one also has a health screening benefit or a wellness rider built into it. You'll notice all the different things you can go in for to get your $50 on this plan. You'll also notice that some of them are the same as what's on the accident plan. Mammogram, pap smear, cholesterol screening, blood glucose screening, prostate exam. If you have both policies and you go have a mammogram or your cholesterol check, they will both pay you the $50 for that one visit. Aflac does not care how many policies you have with them. They look at each one separately. Okay? This one is also fully portable, same rate, same coverage. If you decided to leave Apex, you can take it with you, and again, it's yours for the rest of your life. Inside your packet is this little rate sheet. It says critical illness at the top. Looks kind of cumbersome, but it's really pretty straightforward. Non-tobacco employee at the top, right below that, non-tobacco spouse, then tobacco employee, tobacco spouse. So let's pretend everybody in here is a non-smoker. We'll go to that top bracket. You'll see 5,000, 10,000, all the way over to 50. And down the left-hand side, you'll see the age brackets. Okay? So find your age. Let's say you're 31 to 40. You want to do that $10,000 benefit that I used as an example. It's $8.08 per month to have that multiple payout policy with the wellness rider built into it. The other really cool thing about Aflac is whatever age you come in at is the age you lock in at. It does not go up on you as you get older. So you come in at 40, you pay that $8 a month. When you turn 41, it does not jump up to $14.26 a month. You will always pay that $8 a month rate, even when you're 60, 70, 80 years old, retired on a beach somewhere. Okay? So again, just kind of keep that in mind. A lot of people will ask, what's the average people do? The average we see nationally is 10 to 15,000. For the average person, that's more than enough to pay 2 or 3 months house payment, car payment, utility bills, and again, that's really what it's designed to do. Now, if you're in that first age bracket, 18 to 30, we do see a lot of those people take a $50,000 benefit because you're locking yourself in at $20 a month for the rest of your life. That's a pretty cool deal, with the consideration that most of us will have 1 or 2 of those critical conditions in our lifetime. So again, kind of a neat thing to be able to get onto and lock yourself in. Any questions on the CI plan? All right. Last thing in there for the Aflac, you'll see this rate sheet, or I'm sorry, the application. If you decide you want to enroll in either the accident or the critical illness or both, this is the application that you would fill out. Basically, it's all highlighted. It's just your personal information in that first section. Then you're going to see eligible children. That's where you would list children. There's room for 4. If you need additional room, you can write them in the margins. Down below that, you're going to see beneficiary information. yes, this, or no, this is not life insurance, but if you had an accident, you had a critical illness, you passed away before the 2 to 3 days they paid the benefit out, they just want to know who to pay that money to. Okay? If you want accident, you basically just check a box at the bottom. I want to cover me and my spouse, me and the children, or the entire family. Turn the page. At the top is the critical illness. Again, you're checking a box. You or you and a spouse. Remember, children are covered free. So if you listed the children on the front page, they're automatically going to be covered under that critical illness plan for whatever, 50% of whatever you do. And then where it says face amount, that's where you put in how much you want. $5,000, $10,000, $15,000, and so on. And that's all there is to that. And then basically you sign and date the bottom. When are apps due back to you guys? 29th. So if you want coverage for 2020, you just need to make sure these are back by the 29th to HR, and then you would have coverage starting January 1st for whatever program you enrolled in.
You don't have to re-enroll if you're...
You know, if you're already on it, you don't have to do anything. It'll automatically roll forward for you. Rates are the same, coverage, everything. You don't have to do anything for those of you that are currently on it. Good question. All right, last thing I'll do, and then I'll jump off here. That is this little one-page flyer that says IDT Safeguard. This is your identity theft program. Again, nothing's changing here. For those of you that may already be on it, you're good to go. Rates are the same, coverage is the same. But for those of you that are not, this might be an opportunity to where you want to get onto this program. The rates are very attractive through the group, obviously. We all know that data breaches continue to happen. We've seen them all over the last several years, everything from Target to the IRS to the U.S. government. Our Defense Department was actually hacked into a few months back. Facebook. The experts say whether we like it or not, our data is already out there floating around on the black market. Right now, our credit files are going for about $5 a piece on the open market. Your credit cards numbers, your social security number, birth date, and all of that. It doesn't seem like a lot of money, but when you're selling millions and millions of those files to the criminal rings, it adds up pretty quickly. So identity theft is really kind of becoming one of those necessary evils. So on this particular program, once you become a member, they will monitor your identity 24 hours a day, 7 days a week worldwide. If they see anything going on with your identity, your credit, whatever, they will alert you. Is this you? Yes, no. Obviously, if it's you, great. If it's not you, that's when they will start to take action. The monitoring is really cool. You can kind of see on the back there all the different things that they're monitoring on a day-to-day basis. They monitor over 1 trillion data points every single day of all of their members. So the monitoring is really cool, but really where the rubber meets the road is on the restoration. So what they basically say is once you become a member, if your identity is actually ever stolen, they will fix your identity for you back to pre-theft status no matter how long it takes. They have their own private investigators, their own attorneys. They'll appear in court for you in other states, whatever the case may be, but they will fix it for you so you don't have to try and do it on your own. It's not as easy as just picking up the phone and saying, hey, Credit Bureau, this was not me, take it off. You actually have to prove that it's not you. They say the average identity theft case takes 120 hours of an average person to try and fix it so their credit is back to the way it was. And as you all know, we all know that anything you do nowadays is really dependent upon our credit. Cell phones, cars, appliances, anything you buy on credit, the first thing they do is pull your credit report, and if somebody's gone on and done something to your credit, opened up a new identity in your name, and now your credit is trashed, you're kind of at their mercy until it's fixed. That's really what these programs are designed to do. So it monitors and fixes for you, all for the rate that's on the back. So it's $8.95 a month for an employee only, $17.95 a month for your entire family. This one is also fully portable. Once you're on it, if you leave, same rates, same coverage, nothing changes. If you decide you want to enroll in that one, the little form right here is in there. Very, very straightforward. Basically just put a little bit of information, sign it, and then that would need to be back to HR by the 29th as well. Whew, that was a lot. Any questions? What's that? Yes. Yep. Roll if you're on it and nothing changes, so that's a kind of a reoccurring theme. You're good to go on that one as well. So if you guys don't have anything else, Carol's going to come back up and just kind of finish out, and you guys are almost done. We appreciate your time. Have a great rest of your day and have a great weekend. All right. It's all yours. Yep.
Yeah, I've been on that identity theft for about a year and a half now with Hub's program that Danny helped put in. And I can tell you 3 instances. My daughter, I got an email on my daughter telling me that her email is on the black web now. And it was put there by this login and that she needs to change her password on any information that, or any sites that she has that email with. And then another one, I was opening an account at like JCPenney and immediately I hadn't even finalized that account and I got a text saying, is this you opening this account? Third one, my son, I helped him with his first car loan and it's under my name. And so I got an email, a text and a call saying, did you just open an account and take a loan? So it's a great, great program. It really protects my entire family, and I hope you guys like it as well. So we're going to go on to the dental coverage next. So no changes there besides the premium increasing a little bit, but you are staying with MetLife. It's a great network out there. MetLife is probably one of the larger dental providers of. And so let's talk about the benefits themselves. So you have in-network benefits, and then you have out-of-network benefits. You know, the dental providers is probably about 50% of dental providers will contract with insurance companies. Unlike medical, you've got almost every physician out there contracts with the insurance companies. But when it comes to dental, not a lot of the dentists will contract, about 50% of them. So we want to make sure that if you choose a dentist and that you are choosing a dentist that's in network, but if you don't, you do have benefits that are out of network as well. So you have a $50 deductible for individual and a $150 deductible for your family members, and that's either in network or out of network. If you go either place, you have to meet that deductible. The maximum benefit is $1,250. So they will pay up to $1,250 in a year for coverage. So be cautious of that. If you're getting a lot of work done, make sure that you spread that out over time like I'm doing right now. And then for preventive screening, so they say that they found that mouth health really leads, if your mouth health isn't good, then you can get heart disease, diabetes, so they really want you to go in and get your screenings and cleanings every 6 months. So the preventive screening, if you go in network, is no charge, and then if you do go out of network, you have 100% coverage up to an allowable amount. Anyone have a definition for allowable amount, what that is? Okay, so basically they look at the providers, the dentist in your area, by zip code, and they say, well, the in-network dentist is contracted and they'll cover this rate, and this is really their billable amount. And so they take the average of that, and then they'll reimburse the dentist up to the allowable amount. So it's great that you have out-of-network benefits if you have an out-of-network dentist, but know that they can balance bill you. So if they charge $200, the insurance company typically reimburses about $100, then you're responsible for that additional $100, and the dentist can bill you for that. And that's what we call balance billing, because they bill you for the balance remaining. Okay, so basic services, root canals, fillings. I haven't had a filling forever, so I've almost forgot that. But basically, the basic services is covered. You cover 20% of it, and MetLife covers 80% of it. And then major services like bridges or implants or anything like that, that's covered at 50%. So again, the out-of-network has an allowance up to limit, and the in-network is usually at the 50% or co-insurance level. You also have child and adult ortho. So I don't know, I've got Invisaligns for myself, my husband, and both my kids. So we are all into the ortho. So basically that covers 50% up to $1,000. Now that is in addition to the $1,250. for the orthodontist. And that's whether they're contracted or not. Any questions on this, the dental?
That orthodontist, that $1,000 is like lifetime, it's not $1,000 every year.
Correct. Thanks for clarifying. Looks like you've used it maybe.
No, but I consider that.
Okay. All right, so here are your rates. You can see 2019 and 2020, not much of a difference, but they are going up, and Apex shares in that increase as well, so they're covering 70% still, so they covered 70% of that increase, and then you're covering 30% of that increase. Okay, vision. So vision is still with VSP, not many changes here. This is actually covered by Apex. So if you're in need of glasses, frames, exams, this benefit is covered for you. So please do enroll. You have to enroll to have the benefit. So if you don't need glasses or anything like that, then you don't need to enroll, but you have to enroll in this to get the benefit. And so the exams is every 12 months, and that is a $20 copay in network, and then you get that up to reimbursement up to $50 for out of network. The materials is $20 copay. And then lenses, you can see that's covered at every 12 months as well. And then the different types of lenses you can get, and then if you go to an out of network vision specialist, then there's an allowance for that as well. And then the frames are every 24 months. So remember, the lenses you can get, they do that because you might need a different prescription every year, but keep your frames in good condition because they have to last every 2 years. And then the contact lenses, if you do get glasses, you can't get contacts as well. So it's in lieu of. Flexible spending account. So who's enrolled in a flexible spending account? Great. So this is a great way to put money aside in your paycheck so you can have money to spend when you go to the doctor. So for those co-payments, those co-insurance, the out-of-pocket maximums or the deductibles for medical, dental, and vision, you have a healthcare spending account as an option to enroll. So what I suggest that you do is sit down and try to estimate what you think you're going to use for medical expenses and what you have to pay, and then go ahead and sign up for the pre-tax deduction because it lowers your income so you're not taxed as much, and you have that money set aside to use. You can use it immediately if you estimate the maximum is $2,750, so if you put $2,750 away, you can use that January 2nd. Even though they're deducting it over time out of your paycheck, you can use it immediately. So I signed up for LASIK, had it done January 3rd. I got my reimbursement, was able to pay them immediately, and then they just continued to take it out of my paycheck. So it's a great way to put money away. Just be cautious because if you don't use it all, you lose it. There is you do have $500 that you can roll over if you haven't used that amount into the next plan year, but other than that, everything else will unfortunately be not used and not given back at that point. So that is one flexible spending account. You do have until April 30th of every year to file the claims. And so make sure for this 2019, if you have an FSA, that you file your claims in time to get reimbursed. You also have daycare flexible spending account, and that's for adult daycare. So you can get reimbursed up to $5,000. This is a little bit different because you got to put your money in and then take your money out. And so people are like, well, I have to, pay daycare anyways. Why would I do that? Well, you can get reimbursed up to $5,000 pre-tax. So again, it's just lowering that taxable income for you. Any questions on either of those programs? Okay, the life insurance. So the life insurance is, you have $50,000 with Apex that they pay $50,000 on your behalf. Some people feel that that's not enough, so they also have some supplemental income for you. And so your supplemental is for employees, it's 10,000 increments up to $300,000. And for spouse, it is 5,000 increments up to 50% of what you elect. And then for children, as Danny said, you know, you have 7 children, it's 10,000 apiece. So, but it's the same rate for regardless of how many children you have. And then the guarantee issue, if you're a new hire or coming onto the plan for the first time, then you have that guarantee issue amount of $50,000 for employee, $10,000 for the spouse, and $10,000 for the children. That means that you do not have to do any medical questions. But if you elect above that amount, then you do have to answer some medical questions for that. The AD&D, accidental death and dismemberment, basically pays you double if you die due to an accident, or it'll pay a scheduled benefit if you lose an arm or a leg or anything like that. So it's very inexpensive. We just tack that right on, so you get that benefit if you enroll. Any questions on the life insurance? Okay. Long-term disability, so that is Apex pays 70% of this benefit, and you as an employee pay 30%. I don't believe it's that much, but this is the second most important benefit to have. Medical, I think, is first, and then this is the second, because medical insures health insurance and coverage for care, but this insures your income. So basically, if you were to go out on disability, that, and everyone is enrolled in this. So if you go out on disability, you would be reimbursed 60% up to $6,000 a month. I just had one of my clients, 47-year-old with 4 children, someone didn't see the stop sign and hit him, and he is paralyzed from the waist down. So this benefit, not a lot of people use the benefit, but when they need it, it's there, and it's an important benefit, believe me, because now he's 47, he's going to be covered until he gets Social Security. The Employee Assistance Program, this is also a great benefit to have. So this is for financial wellness, if you need any counseling on finances, or spousal counseling, or children counseling, or anything like that. This is available. There's so many things. You can do a will preparation through this benefit. I used it, I called them, I didn't have time. My mother needed a nursing home in Maine, and so they did all the research. They brought me back like 5 different nursing homes, and that zip code gave me the criteria of how they rate them and the cost, and I mean, it was a phenomenal resource to use. And this benefit is, everyone gets busy, so please tap this benefit, because it's, you know, it's pretty much, if you sign up, it's free at that point. It's only $10.92 per year, and then you can use their resources, and they have plenty of resources available. Okay, so any questions at all? This is the time to enroll. Once you enroll, you are locked in on a lot of these benefits for the year, unless you have a qualifying event, and that's like a marriage, divorce, birth of a child, anything like that. Then you have 30 days to notify Tara or Cindy of the qualifying event to make that change. If you don't notify them within 30 days, then you have to wait until the next open enrollment. And that's the IRS rules, because a lot of these benefits are done on a pre-tax basis, and it reduces your income, so the IRS only wants you to be able to come into these benefits once a year. And so that is kind of a rule that's available. But know that if you do have a qualifying event, I just had a person talk to me about his 26-year-old son that's coming off benefits, and so when can that happen? And that happens at the end of the month in which he turns 26. So there are opportunities come in and out, but this really is the time to make your choices for the year. And as we said, open enrollment is November 19th through the 29th, and you will have the opportunity to enroll via online with Paylocity, and hopefully everything will go smooth there. Any questions on any of this?